Okay, this is where we are now. Got this shaft welded on. I just have to fiberglass it back over and shape it. Okay, I thought I'd explain quickly how I did this. In the previous video, when I cut the shaft out, I cut strips sections out of the rudder to get down to the shaft, and then I cut the shaft off. So now when I rebuilt it, I just used those same strip sections, glued them all back in place to get the shape, and then I fiberglassed over that shape, which is what you're looking at now. Then I'll fill this rudder up again, the hollow bits, with epoxy. Just filming after with my phone to show you what it looks like. I did 2 layers of chop strand over it, and I'll see how that comes out. Looks pretty strong. I just tore it up and put loads of resin. I'll grind it back down, sand it smooth, and then I'll make some epoxy filler. And then there's still some hollow bits like there that I'm going to pour the epoxy down, and I'll fill it so it's nice and smooth after I've grinded it back, and then I'll sand it smooth. Okay, so this is after I've used the epoxy to fill up the rudder and use epoxy thickener to fair it. Now I'm just going to sand it down. Okay, excuse all the mess, yeah, so busy with all sorts of things. But this is where we're at with the rudder. I thought I'd explain that this shaft that I got replaced isn't exactly the same size as the original. So the original one was 19 mils, and I could only find 20 mil on eBay. It was either 18 or 20, so I don't know why. But yeah, so what I've done so far, I've fiberglassed over, you've seen that, then I sanded that back, and then I used some epoxy and this glass bubbles, I think it's called glass bubbles, and I mix it with the epoxy, and then I use it like a filler, and I fill in all the low spots, and sanded that back, so it's all super smooth now. I'm gonna just paint it with epoxy, straight clear epoxy, and then that should be it. Hopefully after that I'll just give it a little scuffing up and I'll be able to paint. One thing about getting a different size shaft is I had to make that 20 mil, so I've sanded that out, so that's worked. My friend Brett, what we ended up doing when he welded it on inside for me, we decided to just cut that off of the original and then weld that on. But I've changed that to 20 now, so that's good. The top bearing. And then another thing I had to drill, I had to make fit, was this pipe. Now that goes up through the bottom of the boat, and then I had to adjust that. I just took like a 19 mil drill bit, I wrapped a bit of sandpaper around it, and then I drilled, and I just sanded it so it gets to 20 mil. But it's all good now, nice and snug. So I'll probably go and epoxy that into the boat now today, and then get that all sealed up. I cleaned it all up nicely, so I'll put maybe a bit of Sikaflex first, push it in, and then any gap between there and the boat and the hull, I'll epoxy it in. Then I'll also put some epoxy on the shaft from the inside of the boat where it goes through, just to help it be super watertight. And that should be good. And then the only thing that I have difficulty with now is this bush that was worn from the last one. Is so worn, you know, that goes onto the skeg and then over the shaft like that. So I need to get a nice bush lathed up from somewhere. I have a friend with a lathe that might be able to help me out. The problem is time. They're due to go back in the water by the end of this month, so I've only got like a week left. Few days, they'll probably give me a little bit of leeway, but we'll see. So yeah, okay, cheers. And then I'll push the pipe through, and I'll epoxy from the other side, and I'll epoxy around the edge as well, possibly even over where the screws go. I'll push some epoxy in there, or maybe just Sikaflex them in there. Yeah. I don't think it's going to come out in the next however many years. I don't think it's been out since the boat was made. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Switch. Okay, this is what it looks like after the first coat. It's like getting a bit dark. You can see it definitely needs another coat. That's where it rubbed through before. Yeah, I think I might need to buy another 750 mils, do 2 or 3 coats. You can see where the name was, and there's still like some primer patches. It looks real nice when it's shiny and it's new. It just really, it pops. Some small places I need to touch up, but generally way better than it did before. Looking good. I'll do a couple more coats, and then I will do the undercoat, the anti-fouling underneath, and that's pretty much it. I can go back in. Still have that skeg and rudder obviously to do, but yeah, it's coming along. Alright, rudder's fitted and skeg. I've epoxied everywhere, and then I put a seam of Sikaflex along there. Thank you to my buddy Rob, who sorted out this bush for me, milled it down, and yeah, I've epoxied all this as I put it on. It's all good. Works pretty good. It's nice. A little bit stiff because both bushes are very new, but as it wears in a bit, I'm sure it'll get better. But yeah, it's very nice, very tight. Everything seems good. Just got to paint it up now. And that's it. Looking nice. Good job.